Hello, hi, and welcome again to the Terminal Podcast. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Welcome to the Terminal Podcast, where in the end, it's all about the numbers. This is a show about baseball. I'm your host, and we are broadcasting high above Civic Center Station on a beautiful day in the inside the perimeter ITP of Metro Atlanta. If you're driving OTP, the numbers are 18 north, 400 to the perimeter, 16 west on 20 to Six Flags, and 14 south on 75, 85 to the airport. If you're just flying in, the Cobb County spectacle that was the Major League Baseball All Star game is done. So, Chris, what were your thoughts on the swing off to end the latest All Star game?
My thoughts are I was sleeping. Um,
Mm, many were. You're not alone.
However, so I didn't see it live, so I wasn't
Yeah.
caught up in that emotion of it. But I just told you briefly before that I was going to have a question for you.
Hmm.
The question is, and the discussions are being had, and if you don't think they're being had, you got your head in the sand. Percentage likelihood that this comes to a regular season near you within the next 5 years.
My guess is, if anything, they try it. Well, they're going to try it in the minor leagues first for certain.
100%. It'll be in the minor
100% in the
leagues next
minors.
year.
They've got to be, but there's got to be some sort of. You can't just go straight from 9 innings. We're going straight to the baseball. I mean, it's got to be at least a 10, 11, maybe 12, maybe 3 innings, and then we go to that. The same I was going to tell you after you got the thoughts on the swing off is the 2002 All-Star game famously ended in a tie because former commissioner Bud Selig was looking helpless as teams were off the field because the score was tied 7-7 after 11 innings, and managers didn't have pitchers because this is an all-star game. We're trying to show off these pitchers and everything like that. It was, did you know that this swing off concept was snuck into the 2022 collective bargaining agreement to guard against the all-star game running out of pitchers? So,
I did know that.
okay. But I mean, look, I'm not a fan of the home run derby. I said that last time. But as far as getting the game over with, it makes complete sense. There's got to be we in in the World Series, in the World Cup finals, in the Stanley Cup finals, in the NBA finals, sure, let's run it until it's over. But the 9-year-old that you're trying to sell the sport to has got to wake up tomorrow morning if his parents for whatever reason took him to a Wednesday night baseball game or something like that. He's got to get home. He's got school in the morning. Yeah, it's summer. He's got school in the morning. The kid's dumb. He's an American student. He's got summer school. So he's got to go to school. Like you said, you weren't even awake for it because you were asleep because they start everything at 8 p.m. on the East Coast. So the ninth inning doesn't start until 10:30, 11 p.m. Where I don't know, I'm asleep. Are you tired at that point? If you're on the West Coast, it's great because then it's 9:30. It's like, yeah, this is perfect. I'm sorry, it's 8:30. It's 9 o'clock. I'm ready to go out. But the bulk of the viewers traditionally in the Americans are on the Eastern Seaboard. So I don't know. It's interesting. What
It
would you?
is 100% coming to Major League Baseball regular season games. And just
Okay.
give me a minute. And you highlighted a bunch of the points that I was going to talk about.
Hmm.
A, it's what hockey does. They play a 5 minute overtime 3-on-3, and then they go to a three-person shootout for the
Hmm.
regular season. And like you said, in the Stanley Cup playoffs, no, we're playing and we're playing.
Until it
And we'll
ends.
play until 4 in the morning,
Mhm.
which I 100% agree with.
Yeah. Mm,
The Ghost Runner, mound visits, pitch clock. Are those the three main things they've done to speed up? Well,
that
not
is,
speed up games
though,
and shorten games,
it's to
shorten the overall
shorten.
time.
I would argue the first two, the Ghost Runner. What was the first thing you said? The Ghost Runner and the Mound Visits
Ghost
is
Runner,
definitely
mound visits, and pitch clock.
the pitch clock is to eliminate and there was a time and we it's not even that long ago where the average game, a Mets Yankees game on Fox took 5 hours, but the
Well,
average baseball game took about 3 hours. But because of those, and the real problem is everybody stepping out of the box after every at bat. and then checking their gloves and opening them and closing them
No,
back
I agree.
again.
I agree with that. But the amount of mound visits that teams
Yeah,
used to make,
yeah, no.
and
In that,
the MVR, it's on. If you've been to a game, it says MVR, and I always quiz people that I'm sitting near. What does MVR mean? Because it's up
mound
there with
visits
hits, runs,
remaining.
errors, mound visits remaining.
Mound visits
No
remaining.
one's ever come close to hitting that number. I've never seen the Yankees get close in the 4 years that number's been going on.
I would argue. Go ahead. Go ahead.
My point is, the stated goal of those three things. Now, they weren't all necessarily the same goal. The stated goal of all three of those things has been so successful,
Yeah.
unequivocally successful. Whether you like them or not, that's not
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
not
that's
the
not the
issue.
point. That's not the
Their
point.
stated goal has been 100% successful. And I was the person who was not in favor of the pitch clock. If you remember 2 years ago when we talked about it,
Mm-hmm.
I'll watch baseball till the cows come home. It doesn't bother me. But I get it. My point is, you can say what you want about Rob Manfred, about commissioners, and everyone thinks every commissioner sucks, but everyone in these leagues all makes billions of dollars. So they're doing something.
Right. Anybody
That's their job.
suck.
Their job is to make money.
It's to make
right?
the owners money. It's not to make the people money.
No, it's to make the owners money. It's not to make you and me money. It's to make you and me spend more money.
No, I know. Yeah, and they're doing a good job of it.
But my point is, the stated goal of those three things has been unequivocally successful. And this home run derby, or whatever, swing off, whatever name you want to give it. Mm-hmm. And you said it best, and I heard a bunch of people talk about it. You play the 10th and 11th inning with the ghost runner. Mm-hmm. So that's like 3-on-3 overtime in regular season hockey. You play a 5-minute 3-on-3 overtime in regular season hockey. That's the 10th and 11th inning with the ghost runner. And if it doesn't get adjudicated, then you go to the swing off.
I'm going to argue for a third inning so you can technically get through the lineup once.
One time.
I mean,
okay.
One time through the lineup. But yeah, no, we got to get this thing over with. The NFL's gone to they've shortened their overtime room. Everybody else, I don't know what the NBA does because I don't really care, and they're not going to go to a 3-point shootout. But those games should end anyway. But that's just they're just so long. And there's timeouts in the last 2 minutes. Everybody's calling a timeout. It's just like, oh God, run a play. You don't run plays anyway. So
right, they call a timeout to do a pick and roll. They're doing a pick and roll anyway.
All right, let's move along from that. So we both do
agree. But it's coming. I 100% see it's coming.
I can definitely see it. And the whole thing is, it was the best part about it was the fact that you had people like Shohei was already dressed. Like there were already all stars that were dressed and are, on the cars and gone and everything like that. But everybody else who wasn't was out lining up the steps, standing up outside the dugout, acting like, oh, I don't know, we mentioned this last time, the kids playing, the adults playing a kid's game, which is what they were, and everybody's sitting there giddy and everything like that. That's baseball. And that is going to shine on your YouTube reels and everything like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
just briefly, the regular season game, those people aren't going to be dressed and not eligible. The Yankees are still the Mets are still going to put Alonso, Soto, Lindor. The Yankees are still going to put Judge, Stanton. You know what I mean?
In a regular season game. Yeah, it's a regular season game. It changes completely. But it wasn't a regular season game, but it's something that I don't know. They should do this some way, somehow. Your thoughts on the salute for Henry Aaron? I didn't even think about this.
It was good thing to do. A lot of these leagues do that stuff really well.
Mm-hmm. What I missed was the fact that the date was 7/15. It was July 15th, so it was actually the number and everything like that, and that was kind of cool. But I mean, the animation over a lightless park and all the fireworks, and then the fictional ball going to where it was and everything like that. That was. So, what was the more, I don't want to say inventive, but the more interesting moment in your eyes? That or the whole stand up to cancer, where everybody had their little, name on stuff like that.
You don't want to get me going on that.
Did you stand up? Was there anyone whose name you wrote on your card, little stood there, and as cameras went by and you held the name?
And they do it all. They've done it probably for a decade now, and they're in the World Series. And my only thing with it is, again, I like you and like our idols, Michael and Tony and the great George Carlin, we're into words, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I left my buddy a ranting voicemail message while it was going on, and it was basically like when they came back from commercial, and they were like, "Let's," who was it, Joe Buck or whoever it was.
Mm.
Um, we all stand strong against cancer. It's like, yeah, we're all against cancer. Like we don't. Just the words they use to me are so silly. Like, is there someone rooting for cancer?
Well, actually, if you really want to know, I've got a little
On
parlay
certain
that
people, on certain people. But no, but it's just like I said, it's like the words they use. Like
yeah.
I don't remember what it was, but it got me so angry, like viscerally angry, that I left my friend a voice message. Like, but yes,
Well,
you stand up to cancer. Okay, yay, we all want cancer to end. Of course, we all want cancer to end. Can we just play the baseball game?
well, we have to do something because, we need to show as a multi-billion-dollar corporate entity that
Yeah,
is
that we
nationwide. We have,
care.
yeah, we
Mm.
care. The air quotes for those listening on the podcast, we care. So air quote, we care. We're there with you. We stand with you. End air quote. Well, as we've moved past that, and we're both looking
We'll cut
forward to
all our
this.
employees' health benefits. And,
Yeah, don't worry about that. We care. We care, though. We care. So we don't. A lot of the things we care about is what is the crux, the little hidden thing. But I care about the second half of the baseball season because that is something that you can't I mean, you can put politics and all the fun stuff too, but I don't. It's just baseball, and we're here. We're finally made it. Everything that comes to the second half, the back half of the baseball season, because mathematically we're already into the second half and blah, 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 blah. We talk pitching on this pod, but today we're just going to focus on the big picture. And the biggest picture is who's going to win the divisions, who's going to be in the postseason. As we all do, we look well past the rest of the season. We're already in the postseason. We're already to who's going to make it, right? Because that's what people care about. Um, there's six divisions, East, West, and Central. So let's get you to make some selections that I'm going to keep and hold you to and mock you every possible way if you get any of this wrong. So the AL East and the NL Central are the only divisions with four teams that already have 50 wins.
yeah,
The AL Central and the NL West
AL
are
Central's over.
the AL Central and the NL West are the two divisions where the Tigers, the Detroit Tigers, and the LA Dodgers are in front and unlikely to be caught by their
And having
competitors.
didn't the Dodgers lose 7 in a row going into the All
Yeah,
Star break?
it doesn't make a difference. Mostly because the Padres and the Giants and even the Diamondbacks are good, but for those of you listening, you can't see Chris scratching his back, which is
I got a back scratcher like 2 months ago. Changed my life.
I feel like Homer's got a back scratcher in every
Oh
episode.
yeah.
That leaves five teams from each league that are going to make the postseason. So we'll just go division by division. AL East, the Blue Jays of all teams are up 2 games on your New York Yankees between between the Jays, the Yanks, and the
The Blue Jays.
soon to be purchased Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Who you think is going to
He
win that
said,
division?
Mom, he said the Blue Jays.
You don't think the Jays can win the AL East?
He said the Blue Jays.
You really don't think the Jays can win the AL East, huh? Can't make out of any of that. You're blowing out your microphone, but he's referring back to the last time the Toronto Blue Jays won the American League East division was in 1993 when a whole cadre of different teams played in that division. Am I right? Weren't there a couple of different teams? Wasn't Cleveland still
Yeah.
in the division at that time?
Yeah, and the Brewers might have been in
I was mentioning to somebody else because I was like, yeah,
it.
they were like, was it you? I was
But
like, why
anyway,
did
no,
you?
I don't know. I don't think the Blue Jays. I mean, every year you hear about the Blue Jays, the Blue Jays, the Blue Jays, hey, the Blue Jays, the Blue Jays. No.
So you're obviously taking your team. I assume that the
Mm-hmm.
Yankees will power back and get through. I was asked about my hatred for teams like the Cardinals and the Pirates in Pittsburgh and St. Louis, and to which I said, yeah, because those used to be my division rivals, and
Right.
I still hate the Pirates for little reason. It's less now, but I can
Mm-hmm.
remember hating the Pirates. I can remember hating the Expos, and I respect them now, but yeah, Dennis Martinez. I feel like I've said that before.
El
But
Presidente.
uh, we started in the AL East, so we'll go out west to the American League Western Division by your favorite team and America's favorite team, the Houston Astros, the Houston Astros, the Houston Astros, Houston Astros number one, two, three, four, and 5 games up on Seattle. Uh, do they hold off the Mariners and
Yeah, I
the
think the
big
Astros will
thumper,
win. Yeah,
the
and
big
big dumper.
thumper?
Yeah, the big dumper.
He
I
can't
think the
power his
Mariners will get a wild card.
okay. NL East, the Philadelphia Phillies and their nasty franchise and their dirty, disgusting city. No offense.
Oh, I'm going to see on Sunday.
Oh, congratulations. Who are they losing to? Or at least I'll be
Uh,
rooting for them to lose to.
I think the Angels.
The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Yes.
They're around. Uh
The one comedian did a bit on the Los Angeles Angels, which means the Angels Angels.
but that's in a different language. So do they hold off the Metropolitans? Do they claim the NL East, the NL East division title, which would
Yeah, I
be a
think the Phillies hang on. I think the Mets get the wild card.
second in a row, right? Wouldn't that be the second for the Phillies?
Yes.
They won last year. Centrals, NL Central. You think the Cubbies hold everything off, or they'll
I do think the
Milwaukee
Cubbies
sneak them
hold
off?
everything off. They're a team that's been fading, but it's the one team I will say that could be a surprise team, and for one reason, well, two reasons, but
Okay.
one main reason, because he did it every year when he was with the Indians. Well, not every year. Some year they were really good, but there were other years where they made up at charge.
Tito,
And that's
Tito.
Terry Frank. I don't count a Terry Francona team out. I do not. And they have an electric superstar in Ellie De La Cruz who can go on
They
a
do.
3 week tear.
Yeah. Was it Dela Cruz? No, it was the
O'Neill
Pirates
Cruz
guy.
that hit
Oh,
that.
Neil
But
Cruz.
De La Cruz can hit the same type
Oh,
of
I was
home
gonna say
run.
they're the two of them. I was sitting there going, the two of them look very similar in
They
that
do.
they're tall, athletic black
Tall,
players.
athletic, yes.
And I
And they're
mean, because
freaks.
and you're looking at it because the whole thing is somebody, and this is what I try to tell when I'm dealing with any young athletes. It's like, as great as you are in football, if you played baseball, you wouldn't get hit. And you're going to play a decade longer. And you could also play that sport elsewhere if you weren't picked up by major league teams. And so I'm not going to stay on that because it's too much. So the Cincinnati Reds, who are actually going to be they're in Flushing today, tomorrow, and Sunday. They're in the wild card hunt. There's a lot of teams in the wild card hunt. So the
Yeah.
better question is, who's not? The Marlins are 7.5 back, and
The Rockies
if
are not.
if you if you were alive 2 weeks ago when the Braves were taking 5 of 7 from the Mets, you would have been told that the Braves were ahead and they were the top team in the wild card. But reality set in, and they're 9.5 back. Do either one of those teams who are currently at the bottom half of the NL wild card, do either one of those teams make a push, make a run?
No, I don't think
Or
so.
so then the
How
question
many
for my
wild card teams are there? Two?
three.
It's
You get a
three.
wild,
Because
you
number
get a
one seed
wild,
gets the
you
bye
get,
now, right?
yeah, 1 and 2 get the bye. Three plays the winner. Wait,
So
no,
Mets,
no, I
Mets,
don't. Hmm.
and two NL West teams.
And then the fourth winner gets the last wild card in at home for a three
Yeah.
game series, and
I'm
the
just trying to
last
think. Maybe,
division
maybe I'll
winner.
say the Reds. Maybe I'll predict the Reds. The Mets, the Reds, and the Giants.
Okay. And the AL wild card, Baltimore 7.5 back, but there's also 6 teams between them and actually making the playoffs. So the question for Baltimore is, do they sell? Do they just say, you know what? We were a playoff team last year. Did they win 100 games last year?
Yeah.
All of their kids, all of their young talent decided to flop at the same time. Charlie Morton reverted back to his age because he's no longer in Atlanta and getting that the pure Coke, the real Coke, not the Donald Trump cane sugar Coke, but the real Coca-Cola Coke. For some, so otherwise, explain why Charlie Morton was a quality starter and then turned into a. You got
Um,
anything?
no, the
Until
Coke is a good
until it
call.
got right by the deadline. Now all of a sudden he's getting good enough to get moved. So
I think there might. I was looking at this and I was trying to think of the trade deadline because it's going to be very busy, like it is.
mhm.
I think there might be a big name, and it's funny you said the Orioles.
Okay. The
I
biggest name
don't
around.
know.
Oh,
I have a hunch that like someone you do not think is going to be traded is going to be traded.
okay.
And I don't want to go on a limb and say like Gunnar Henderson
Mm,
or Jackson Holiday. Like I just think there's a name. I think someone's going to swing huge, and yeah, I don't know. It's just a hunch. I'm not saying those guys, but like someone you don't expect, a younger guy who's still under team control.
okay.
That a team wants to kind of reset their franchise, maybe.
All right. If Baltimore does sell, it affects the next series of questions, which are we'll
Mm.
start with because this is a show about pitching respectively, we'll respectively talk about our teams. I root for the New York Metropolitans, and we're gonna, and by we I mean the Mets, because I was signed by the team to a 1-day contract. The arms that are expected to lead the way in the second half are the three at the top, at least, that as Met fans we kind of thought we'd get the whole season. Kodai Senga,
Starting
Sean
tonight.
Manaea.
Shaman and I are
Kodai
starting tonight.
Izzy, because I was going to say up
Yes.
until at
They
10
reset their rotation and they're going Mania tonight. Yeah.
at 8 a.m. this morning, they still hadn't set the rotation because I was
Oh,
looking to
I
see.
heard it. They said on the radio last night that was
It wasn't posted on MLB.com,
okay. All
and
right.
that's. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
certain they had it.
CBS Sports, it has Mania right now. Yeah.
All right. Well, Senga, Manaea, then it's probably going to go Senga, and then Peterson just
No,
because you. Oh no.
Holmes.
Okay. Well, no, because they're
They just
trying to
want
keep
to.
Holmes on. They're trying to keep Holmes on the same schedule so that he stays within that 5-6 day window. That becomes the second question, which is so your
Holmes,
thought. Do
Peterson, Senga.
Manaea, Holmes, Peterson,
Peterson,
Senga.
Senga, and then
Montas is the fifth. So do you're not a huge Met fan, but do you go to that 6-man rotation and add Hagenman and go your 6 day as a bullpen game because you're
I don't think it's a
expecting
terrible idea right
Blackburn?
now for
Mhm.
the next few weeks. I don't think it's a bad idea.
Mhm. I mean, because that's kind of they've been talking about using a 6-man rotation since March, and the injuries and everything like that kind of derailed that from starting immediately. But that wasn't the plan on the other side of the city. You guys started your season with significant losses to the rotation, as discussed during the last Mets Up. According to the Google machine and various blog postings on the spreadsheets and such like that, the Bronx Bombers will work the second half rotation. Max Fried, Carlos Rondon, Stroman, some guy named Will Warren, who actually went to Jackson Prep in Brandon, Mississippi, a school that I covered for 3-4
Thanks.
seasons. He was drafted in 2021. He's thrown 95 innings, 4.63 ERA. Sounds like a number 4 or 5 starter to me.
Yeah,
And you
it
got
is.
Cam Shitlitter. I'm gonna shit,
Slittler. He's a
shit,
rookie,
shit,
pitched one game in his career.
well, is that not your number 5 starter or
Yeah, yeah, he
how's
is. Yeah, yeah,
how,
yeah. And then they're hoping to get Heel back by the end of July. And they're going to
starter
trade for
really?
him. Yeah,
So that's not the status quo. So they're trading for they're going to trade for a starter. You believe?
I believe. Yeah. I
Well,
believe it'll be a lower level starter, like a 3-4 starter,
mhm.
like a Marcus Stroman type, you know.
Well, I have a long list of starting pitchers. My list is the starters will be free agents next year because those are the ones usually that teams are trying to move and players, whether it's Chris is if the Braves aren't going to make it, do they move Chris Sale and his $18 million club option for next year? Merrill Kelly is a name that's thrown around. Mitch Keller of the Pirates can be your number 3 starter for the next half decade. Uh, Nick Martinez, Lucas
Chris
Giolito.
Sale is an interesting name. That's not like the big name I was thinking about, but
Mm,
I'm on the phone with Atlanta's GM right now with them fading
they are, well, that's
and
the
seeing
whole
if I can
thing.
get Chris Sale. Like you get Chris Sale and plug him in any what rotation doesn't he plug into?
Yeah, I don't know. Chris Bassett from the Blue Jays gets
Yeah, from the
laughed
Blue
at
Jays.
if
Yeah,
you think they're going to fade Seth Lugo at Kansas City because he's a free agent, and if they're kind of still they're in the mix, they're in the middle of that 16 slob at the right below the wild card in the AL. Right? Am I wrong on that? No,
They
you're
are.
correct.
Okay, this is just a personal note.
Mm-hmm.
I've been up watching the golf, right? I know it was early. I know we started this at like 10 o'clock this morning. And then the rest of the day when I get off this, I have nothing to do. Everyone in my life is calling and texting me during this 30-minute window. And the rest of the day before this and after this, no one will reach out to me. So,
Well, to use that, everyone's reached out, at least according to the
no,
Athletic.
but those pitchers, like you said, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
those names, Bassett. Yeah, the Blue Jays are interesting. The
Their names,
Sam's a good name. Merrill Kelly.
but
Listen,
those are.
If the Yankees go out and get Sale,
Do you have
coach,
do you have
coach,
the stuff in the minors? Do
we
you
do.
have the items?
We have Spencer Jones, who
Okay,
they
so
would
you
have to
do have
part
the
with.
items to go get them. Okay.
We have one big key we can trade for anybody. Um, but I'm just saying, if the Yankees get Sale, then you go lefty, lefty, lefty as your fucking playoff rotation. Freed, Sale, Rodon. That's
That-
pretty impressive. If you can throw
That's
three lefties.
it is rather impressive. I just, and they have the money to go get them. But the one name you didn't recognize the Sale name, but the one name that every the Athletic and every paper in the tri-state has probably talked about is David Robertson, a right-handed reliever, because every team needs a reliever. There's like two teams that were listed that don't need a reliever. Apparently, Houston doesn't need a reliever because they got Hader and a couple guys in the back end, but
Yep.
everybody else. I was going to say, can you think of a season where a team wasn't looking for relief help at the
Yeah.
deadline? That was like, yeah, we're good. We don't need another arm. There's a long list of free agent relievers, including Emmanuel Clase in Cleveland because they're faded. But
Yeah.
I would think
That's
the
another
amount that
one.
you would need to get Class A is not going to be thin. But
Right.
and there's other right-handed relievers like Hauser and Andrew Kitteridge and Phil Matone and everything like that. But like you just said, if you got three left-handed starters, that's a plus. So the same way you would want a left-handed reliever. There's about 25 that are going to be free agents next year. There's a long list. There's a long list, but a lot of them aren't great, like Justin Wilson, Brent Suter. These are names that you don't know. Wandy Peralta, you might know.
Andy Peralta, former Yankee.
$4.5 million player option if you want to get him from San Diego. The one player who's definitely going to move is Gregory Soto from Baltimore. He's got a 3.74 ERA, but he's likely to move. Jake Diekman, he's in the Braves minor league system. He's released by the Mets last season, but he's available. Andrew Chafin, free agent on May 1st after the Toledo Mud Hens picked him up. Now he's in Washington. I mean, like this is what we're talking about here
That's the
as
guy
far
that
as
your team's
relievers.
going to trade for, and you're going to be like, "Oh, they told the trade we made," but then that guy will go and throw like 27 scoreless innings in September.
Essentially, I mean, like that's what it comes down to. I had a longer close for this, but as the time is it's time and it's the winter. And instead of talking about market sizes and why that should determine the spending habits of the 30 billionaires or collection of multimillionaires and everything like that, I'll just end with a trivia question.
Okay, but
So,
before that, we'll end with a trivia question. Another
okay,
trivia question. A thought provoking question. We're not going to answer it today. We're going to think about it. I was
okay.
listening to Tim Kirkson's podcast.
Hmm.
He said, whatever date it was, a few days ago, was the anniversary, 1995. Pedro Martinez threw 9 perfect innings, and the game was tied at 0, obviously. Went into the 10th, gave up a hit to Bip Roberts to end his perfect game bid, right?
Okay.
Kirkson said, you could do the same thing, pitch 9 perfect innings, go into the 10th inning with the ghost runner now on second, give up a ground ball to first base, a sac fly to right field, and strike out the third batter. You face 30 batters. 30 batters were retired. Nobody reached base on you. Is it, and you can lose the game 1-0, is it a perfect game? We'll let the audience think about that. I'll let you think about it.
We'll think about it as I ask this trivia question. There are currently 6 division leaders, as I said before, and a host of teams hoping for postseason dreams. 2 teams are tied for the most wins against teams above 500. So the most wins against other teams with a plus 500 record. right? Right.
Yep.
Two teams have the most. How many total wins against top, teams over 500 leads the league? And who's tied at the top is my question to you. This isn't a hint, but as a reference, the Mets have the second best winning percentage with a 25-19 record, and their percentage is 5.68. The Yankees, by the way, are 25-28 with a 471 winning percentage. So the question
You
and
just
the
said the
number
Mets are number two.
they're number two. So the numbers I'm looking for is who's got what number is the total wins, who's got the most wins against other 500 teams, and it's a tie at the top. So who are the top two?
Oh, so the Mets are okay. So the Mets have 25. So someone has have more than 25 is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not gonna just
Okay.
ask you for I mean,
Right.
because you could have said 55 and that would have obviously been wrong, but you gotta have a scope, a range, or something
Right.
along
Yeah,
those
turn the
lines.
line when you first started. See,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
Doom, 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 doom,
the
doom, doom,
Cougs
doom, 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 doom,
and
doom, doom. Do 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 doom 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 doom
we're
doom
gonna say the
doom
Mariners
doom
both with
doom doom
28.
doom 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 doom. You
No,
sure?
Cougs and Astros. Cougs and Astros
Doom
with 28.
doom doom doom
That's it.
doom.
Final answer. Lock it in.
Cubs and Astros in 28. Thanks for listening to the latest Mets Up. I'll be back soon enough with hopefully something better to put down. Take it easy down your life's highway and have a good afternoon. Have a good weekend and maybe follow some clouds. Go outside, spend some time out in the sun, and listen next time. Talk to you later.